Hello, Aries, and welcome to Deku Tarot. I'm going to be doing your Uranus and Taurus transit reading. So we're going to talk about how Uranus transiting through Taurus. Sorry, Mercury retrograde. It's taken me like 7 times to like shoot this already. So anyways, we're going to be talking about how Uranus transiting through Taurus is going to be affecting the Aries sun and rising signs for the next 7 years. Uranus actually did just move out of your sign. It did spend the last 7 years in your sign, probably reinventing who you were as a person on every level. The way that you live, the way that you viewed things, the way that you really presented yourself to the world, and how authentic you were. I feel like you guys were asking yourselves a lot, how authentic am I? Am I showing my most authentic self in every possible situation, to family, to friends, in terms of work, in terms of, you know, the footprint that you guys wanted to leave on this earth? You wanted to make sure the past 7 years that you were being 100% authentic to that side of yourself, you know, to who you truly are as a person. Whatever your truth is, you guys followed that these past 7 years, and you spoke that out to the world, and you were not afraid to do so. I do feel that, you know, again, it has been this 7-year, not so much a battle, but a 7-year uphill, just like trek, an uphill like hike here in terms of, you know, becoming more authentic no matter what the cost. So again, I think that it allowed a lot of relationships that weren't authentic, or places where you weren't authentic in your life, to kind of fall away, or, you know, be presented to you in order to reevaluate and change in terms of, you know, how you were in those situations. You know, were you being your most authentic self? Were you being true to yourself? So again, I feel like at this point, and, you know, even in the past 7 years, but especially, you know, towards the end of it, you guys were asking yourselves, you know, what is your personal impact on others? What's your personal impact on the world? What is the footprint and the legacy that you will be leaving, you know, when you leave? You guys are trying to create these big, huge, you know, impacts, changes on the world. You know, you guys were thinking big when Uranus was in your sign the past 7 years. A lot of your conventional views, forms, ways, in terms of acquiring security, money, stability, were all really thrown out the window. And I think that we can all look at that now as a collective and see how Uranus and Aries really transformed the way a lot of people are approaching work. And I think that it really saw a rise of working for ourselves, you know. There was the rise of really independent workers, freelancers, self-employment, following our own path to the success and the lifestyle that you guys wanted. That was what you were focused on the past 7 years. And again, because of that, we saw such a huge rise in freelance work. We saw a huge rise in freelance artists. Gosh, thank you, Mercury in retrograde. I have a Mercury in Aries, so this is always a struggle to speak during this time, especially, I don't know, it's just difficult. Anyways, back to Uranus and Taurus for you guys. Well, actually, we're really kind of talking about wrapping up how Uranus and Aries affected you, because it was in your sign, and we do need to talk a little bit about that, don't we? Anyways, so when Uranus was in your sign, like I was just saying, all of your conventional views were really thrown out the window. There was no more traditional milestones in your lives. You guys were like, I don't need to be married by this age, or I need to be having kids by this age. I don't even need to be owning a house ever. Like, all of that was thrown out. And, you know, I think a lot of people chalk that up to millennials and people like that changing, you know, being like, oh, I don't want to live that way. But I mean, it was really your sign the past 7 years that was changing that for everybody. So people can chalk it up to millennials, but I mean, it was Uranus and Aries, in my opinion, that was really transforming that. Again, you guys weren't really focused or trying to accomplish any type of form of traditional security. I feel that those were a lot of areas where, you know, as a collective, the universe kind of holds, you know, as a collective, our society holds itself back there in terms of needing all these traditional little forms and traditional milestones of security to, you know, say, oh, I've lived my best life and I'm living the life that everybody else is living. You guys were like, hell no, like, I'm not doing that. I don't need this. I don't need this. And I'm going to live my life as an adventure and see where it takes me here. You know, what kind of life, you know, what is your success? What is your success story? What is success to you? How are you going to go about accomplishing that? What kind of lifestyle do you want? Because it doesn't have to be the way everybody else perceives it, or the way everybody else is living, or, you know, views success in acquiring it, and what it means to be successful, happy, stable. You guys were like, no, none of that is actually the same thing to me. That means something totally different. And that's what was the 7-year cycle was really about, finding that for you guys. You really traded in your traditional secure route here for the unconventional, to follow the unknown path. You know, I always like to say, for me in tarot, the Fool is kind of your card, because it is the first card out for me. It's the first card out, and it says, I don't care where we're going. I have the energy, I have the wherewithal to go this way, and I know it's going to work out, and I'm going to treat this as an adventure. So that's really the energy for you guys. That was coming up for the past 7 years. Life was an adventure, and it was seeing where it was going to take you, and just being excited for every step along the way, whether it be good, bad, or whatever happened. So again, as we have Uranus leaving us here and entering Taurus, you guys are at this point where you again have ceased judging yourself. Sorry, I'm reading my own notes and sometimes I can't even read my own handwriting. You're at this point where you have really ceased judging yourself, or really tolerating any type of judgment from others about the things that, you know, you haven't built, you haven't created yet, things that you have started but maybe not finished. You know, you're not judging yourself on that. Other people might be like, Aries never finishes anything. Like, oh my God, Aries, like, you guys never finish anything. When are you ever going to finish that project? You know, whenever you're going to finish, you know, writing that book or starting that company. And you guys are like, you know, we're going to instead focus on the value of the lessons that we've learned here and what we've discovered about ourselves and what is important to us, what has worked out, what hasn't worked out. That you guys have learned a multitude of lessons from starting big projects and then abandoning ones that didn't work and not being afraid to do so. A lot of other signs, I feel, have trouble just abandoning projects, abandoning something that, you know, you put effort into, you put time into, you wanted success in at one time. But you guys weren't afraid to reevaluate, you know, stopping along the way and being like, hey, does this really still mean the same thing to me? Or am I looking for something new now? Am I looking for something different in terms of success, in terms of happiness, in terms of what I need for myself? You guys weren't afraid to change those things about yourself. You guys weren't afraid to ask the question of, does this really still suit me? Does this suit still fit? Anyway, so yeah, you guys have really learned to focus on the value of everything that you've discovered along the way. Through every failure, through everything that, you know, maybe you haven't finished, or everything that you're still working on. You guys have learned lessons, and that's what's really important. Okay, so Uranus enters Taurus in your second house of money, physical energy, material assets, work. So you're going to continue seeing your work really from a different perspective. So again, I feel like this is almost like it's a really nice continuation as Uranus enters Taurus for you guys in terms of work. Because again, Uranus and Aries really shook a lot of employment situations and viewpoints, and, you know, how we pursued it and what we pursued as work, and you know, enjoying our work more, honestly, pursuing things that mean more to us. That's going to continue. We're going to continue to really look at it from a different perspective, look at work and money and how we're acquiring it from a different perspective. You know, we're looking at what can really be possible within work and money at this time. What is possible? Not just what can I do right now? What is actually, you know, what is possible for me? And like, you know, that big SpongeBob, like, rainbow, like, possibilities. I know that's not what it is, but it just feels like, you know, there's a whole rainbow of possibilities, and you guys are thinking about that. Like, what do I want right now? What do I want in terms of work? What do I want in terms of money? What kind of life do I want to live? We're thinking really new. We're thinking new, like all new jobs, all new ways to acquire money, new investments, in terms of places, ideas, new ways of approaching working, okay? And new ways of approaching our work again. So again, we're going to want to invest in some new things that are coming out in Uranus and Taurus. There's going to be a lot of different, there's going to be a lot of growth in terms of how you can go check out my Uranus and Taurus video, because I'm like trying to find a simple way to touch upon it all, but there's so much to unpack. That's why I did a video just for Uranus and Taurus as a general, and now I'm doing them for all the signs. So go check that out if you want to hear more about, you know, in terms of agriculture, in terms of international politics, in terms of the world, in terms of really our why can't I speak, our atmosphere, in terms of a million things, jobs, money, everything. Uranus and Taurus is affecting us all as a whole, and it's coming up obviously here in your reading, because we're going to have a lot of new approaches in terms of healing, in terms of health, in terms of all that stuff. And I feel like you guys, and especially in technology, we're going to have, you know, is it G5? Because I think we're all on G4. Is that what I said there? Oh my God, I don't know anything about technology. That's why I have to write these things down. So I'm just like a joke about it, honestly. Anyways, we're going to see a lot of robotics and things like that kind of open up. So there's going to be a lot of new things in terms of investment. And I think that you guys are going to be interested in investing in these new ideas, these new ways of life, these new ways to heal, these new approaches to work. So again, we're also going to be focusing on using our natural talents in our work so that we enjoy it more, so that we can bring a real skill set to our work, to what we're doing in terms of our career. We're going to need to not hold too tightly also to any old ways of supporting ourselves. So do not hold on to any old ways of supporting yourself. If, new things are coming in, don't close yourself off to new ways. We need to be able to release when new things come in that are going to be working out better. Don't be afraid to reevaluate and let go. You guys were doing that great when Uranus was in Aries the past 7 years. Continue that, okay? Don't hold too tightly to anything, or especially in terms of old ways of supporting ourselves, because we're going to have to reevaluate, how you're working and building money. We're going to have to look again at what outdated ideas and approaches are we really tied to? What older version of yourself are you still using? Are you still attached to? Are you still, presenting yourself as? Are you still working as, especially in terms of career and how we're approaching work? Are we doing it as that older version of ourselves, or do we need to reevaluate how we're approaching it from our new perspective, from what we want now? So again, don't be putting out to the universe, old versions of yourself. I like to say sometimes we unconsciously manifest, for years and years and years, like something that we want. And by the time, we're like 10, 15 years later, you realize that you might still unconsciously be manifesting that, and it's coming in all the wrong, it's wrong because it's not for you anymore. It's not what you want. It's not what you need now. You're different. So again, make sure that whatever you're putting out there, whatever you're wanting on an unconscious level, is not some outdated old version of yourself and how you approach work and money and just manifesting in general, whatever it is you're trying to manifest. How can we work more effectively now and into the future? What talents need to be reworked in order to really work out in this new energy, in this new decade, or the next 7 years? I'm so great. Thank you, Mercury in there. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. Jesus. So this is, we're going to need to, really look at, again, sorry, I was trying to sum up these notes here. We're going to need to really free up our resources, or what resources really need to be freed up, because there are definitely going to be some that need to be freed up within ourselves, within what we're doing, how we're approaching work, maybe even our time. I'm honestly, not giving so much time to other people and refocusing it to, pursuits and assets that we find important and meaningful to us. So again, in the next 10 months or so, we're going to be bridging that gap really between our own personal awakening and our professional and business-oriented ones, okay? So we're going to have a lot of new awakenings here, and we're going to need to bridge that gap, because again, it was very personal on who we are as a person, who we are presenting ourselves, out into the world. How are we projecting ourselves? How are we acquiring what we need here? Who are we? I mean, we were reinventing ourselves the past 7 years, and now it's reinventing us and giving us this awakening on professional and business level, in terms of our career, in terms of our money, in terms of how we're acquiring it, and if we're enjoying the way we're acquiring it right now. Okay, so Uranus and Taurus calls for you to really change the way you're living, and a revolutionary way to really attain this true sense of freedom that you're seeking. Okay, so again, focusing on how we're creating finances, we're going to be able to hone in on where we are experiencing frustration in this area and where change is most needed. The positive and negative disruptions and windfalls in our bank accounts and money are going to be coming in and out very, very swiftly with Uranus and Taurus. I mean, it's kind of known to do that, where suddenly, all of a sudden, you could have a really great business deal go through, or for 1 month, your business spikes, and you're like, oh my God, I hope it's like this all the time. And then the next month, maybe your car breaks down, or you have to, I don't know, move or something. Something happens, and then you have to spend that money that you just earned on something that you're just like, oh my God, I just acquired all this. This is so frustrating. So again, be aware that that kind of stuff may happen, and to have savings just in case. Okay, guys? But it is positive and negative. It doesn't mean that you're just going to be losing money randomly or anything. I'm not trying to be scary and have you guys be like, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my money because Uranus entered Taurus. No. You're going to be getting money too, and it's going to be changing the way you're working. So it's a good thing. Anyways, it's not a great time to try and continue with the status quo, really. Roll the punches and adapt, because Uranus entering Taurus fixed Earth is not a time to be trying to stay grounded where we are. it's all about ungrounding everybody, ungrounding life as we know it. And I mean, it's chaos. Uranus is the planet of chaos. It's the great liberator. It really shocks us out of our complacency on any mental, intellectual, physical level. It forces us to really look at things from a more objective way, so that we can see from an outside how our emotional reactions are really I don't even know what I wrote there. I'm so sorry, guys. But again, our emotional reactions, gosh, I have horrible eyesight too. We're going to find, you know, again, see from outside of our own emotional reactions to things, and we're going to find solutions to our situations from looking at things, again, more abstract, more objective. We cannot stay in a fixed state of mind and a fixed life is what I'm trying to get across here, because Uranus entering fixed earth is chaos on an earth level. On our most grounded, rooted level, it's chaos. So we have to get used to that. And it's going to be a frustrating 7 years, because again, things in our second house are going to be suddenly imploding here, there, everywhere. Good things, bad things, just surprises. And you're just going to have to learn to expect that and to not get so surprised and frustrated and just to roll with these punches, which as Aries, you guys can do it, okay? You guys can do it. I trust. Anyways, so by the end of this transit, our beliefs and values in terms of money and how to acquire it, business, finances, career, will really have changed in a really huge way. So that's just a nice little sum up message there. Let's pull a couple cards for you guys for the transit here. I'm just going to pull 3 just to see some major themes, transformations that Uranus and Taurus will be bringing my Aries sun and rising. What kind of changes, transformations will Uranus and Aries be bringing my Aries? Sorry, Uranus and Taurus. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. Tell me if any of you guys, I can't even speak. If any of you guys have Mercury and Aries, how does this affect you? Like, it just messes up every way that I try to speak and communicate and understand things. It's like, I don't know, all of a sudden I just can't understand the English language. And I can't read and I can't speak. All right. What's this that wants to come out here? 5 of Pentacles reversed. So again, to me, this shows, again, this is the transformation on a material level, how to get to where you want to go. 5s are painful. They're difficult. They are hard to get through, yes, but they are the cards of transformation. This is, and it's reversed. I have to notice that I was very drawn to pull this out reversed, and I'm happy, because if I saw this upright, I'd be like, guys, we could be going through some hard times here and there. And this does not mean that you won't be going through hard times, but that when you hit those hard times, you will find a way out of them. When money gets lost, you will find a way to get more. You will find a way to get to where you want to go. There's no more being left out, lonely, not being a part of the action in terms of career, in terms of bringing the stability in terms of money, finances, just a comfortable home life because of the money that you're accruing, and because of, you know, having the career that you want, something that you love, something that you're happy about, something that you feel connected with. This is about connecting, bridging that gap. Let's talk about those. Other important transformations. Messages for Aries, for Uranus and Taurus over the next 7 years. What they need to know in terms of their transformations, in terms of where it will be hitting them. Major themes. There's money. Wow. Again, it's all money for you guys. It's all money. It's finding, you know, the King of Pentacles has no problem manifesting. He is, you know, a master at that. He's been doing this for a long time. He is, you know, that he's the Taurus, you know, he's the Taurus card. There you see the 2 bulls right there. This is the Taurian card of, you know, how do we accrue stability in terms of, you know, no matter what happens, I need to be able to have this stability, have this money, you know, get there. I want to be in the limelight. I want people to recognize that I have abundance, that I am a master of it, that I can create what I need, that I can live comfortably and not have to worry about finances. Being a master of that, getting there. You know, you want to get to that King of Pentacles position because he never has trouble making money. He never has trouble getting to where he needs to go. In terms of, you know, stability, finances, home, anything that involves money, he has no problem with it. Even if he loses a job, he'll get another one. And this is being fixed and being able to have the life that you want comfortably with money, career. I don't know. There's just really nice energy around that of being able to manifest and being able to just be comfortable. You guys want that position in terms of money and career. You want that King of Pentacles position. He's not even worried. He's never been worried about making money. Other messages for my Aries, that they will, transformations they will be going through, Aries Sun, Aries Rising, the next 7 years of Uranus and Taurus. What is this that I want to pull? Judgment, guys. Oh my God, you guys have such great cards for this. Judgment. Again, we're looking at this is the reevaluation of bringing out your dead. I mean, that's come up a bunch of times throughout this. Uranus and Taurus will give you shakeups that will say, this needs to be changed. This needs to be reworked. This is not working. Change the way you think. Change the way you do. Change the way you are so that you can adapt and have a better life and be happier. There's this judgment, major transformations in all levels, especially in terms of, your consciousness and your, how you view money. How, again, like I've been saying, this is all about money, finances, career, how we're doing it. It's all in your, second, did I say second house? Gosh. Yeah, your second house of money, physical energy, material assets, work. Sorry, guys. But this is major transformational energy. This is bringing out all the aspects of yourself, getting rid of, every time you go within, you reevaluate, you get rid of those outdated ideas and approaches, anything that, was holding yourself back, in any areas that you were holding yourself back in those ways, anything that was not up to date, any place where you were not using your energy correctly in terms of your career, money, assets, that will be reworked, that will be thrown in your face, and you will have to deal with it. There's transformation, but you guys are great at this. I mean, the only card that was reversed is the card that I would want to be reversed. So this is amazing, guys. All right, Aries. So I know this is just like a quick general for Aries, Sun, and Rising for Uranus and Taurus, but do go check out the Uranus and Taurus video, which is just the general overview in terms of, what happened the last few transits that it came around, which was huge. I mean, World War II, the rise of the Nazis, bombing of Pearl Harbor. God, those are just a couple of the things. So do go check out that video because it's going to change the world and life as we know it. And it's really important to know what's coming up here so that we can better adapt to these changes, okay? Keep an eye out for your monthlies as well as your Uranus and Taurus readings for, your rising, your sun, and your moon signs. Go check them out for each of them just to get a better idea. And have a wonderful Uranus and Taurus, guys. Let me know in the comments below the transformations you guys went through in the past 7 years, because it did just transit through your sign. So thank you guys, and if you guys haven't, please do share and subscribe. It means a lot to me, and it really does help the channel. And hit that little wiggly bell so you get notified whenever I post